welcome to Evening Magazine. I'm Barry Nolan.
And I'm Sarah Edwards, and tonight we're here at the All-Newton Music School in West Newton, where people of all ages, literally kids from 18 months on up, come here to take music lessons. You know, Bear, it's times like this when I wish I hadn't given up the piano.
I bet there's a lot of people like you out there right now, people with harmonicas in drawers and guitars in closets, but haven't touched them for years since they used to play them in high school or college. And in our first story tonight, we're going to see that being an adult and playing for the pure, raw fun of it can be a really great time.
My name is Richard Cole, and I'm an attorney in Boston.
I'm Suzanne Brito, and I work for First National Bank of Boston in the credit department.
My name is Fred Jones, and I test valves in a valve factory.
One thing that all of these people have in common is that
we love
To play.
The saxophone.
and play the saxophone is exactly what these folks do. Along with 35 other sax players, that is, they're members of the John Payne Music Center Student Saxophone Choir, the brainchild of sax player and instructor John Payne.
I've always thought that performing is very important, not just because it's fun, which it is, but also as a learning thing. Once I started the school, I had a whole bunch of sax players around. I just one day got the idea of, why don't we get someone to come down and play in a big choir on one number. We had one number and we did it. After a couple of months, we had 2 numbers. And then it kept growing, and now it's 2.5 years later, we have maybe 20 numbers in the repertoire.
As a highly regarded musician in his own right, Payne has toured extensively with such artists as Van Morrison and Bonnie Raitt, and backed her up once on Saturday Night Live. He even has nationally released albums to his own credit, but having left the tours and sessions behind in order to become a husband and father, he has opened the John Payne Music Center, the place where sax choir members get their training.
We have a hole. Right.
Gotcha.
See, we hit the E, you're on the key already.
So I'd be doing excess motion if I...
Right, so your hand doesn't have to go out. We believe that everybody has musical talent. It's not something you have to be born with. You've got to know how to tap it. If someone walks in here, we don't care what they can do. That's not their job. Their job is to walk in here. It's mainly an attitude, I think, which is becomes contagious, and the students start to believe in themselves. Right, watch that high F. You have to. People are so used to the idea that it's dull to study music. It's boring and it's not fun, and scales sound awful. A scale can sound great.
Once a week, the group gets a chance to play out. Lately, that's been on Monday nights at the Oxford Ale House in Cambridge. When people arrive, it's like one big celebration, a group of friends getting together.
The fact is there's been development of a real socialness among the members, where people actually socialize with each other. That's developed over the years.
I met the person that I'm going to marry in the choir.
Oh, lots of friends. I mean, I feel good going to rehearsal, you know. I feel very, very good.
Let's go.
Duncan Martin directs the choir. He's had years of experience in elementary and junior high school situations. And he directs the choir and does the arranging and conducts them.
Once more. 1, 2, 3, 4.
These rehearsal sessions usually take place an hour before the performance. Although some of these people have been with the band since it started, others are here for the very first time. And with all of them being amateurs, well, you've got to wonder, how good can they really be?
1, 2, 3, 10.
I've had other people I know who are really good musicians who come in and see it, they're blown away. They had no idea it was possible. That's the beauty of this. You bring someone in and you don't just give them a nice performance, you give them something they didn't know was possible.
This
sound close to professional.
I've come here before, I've seen them before, and I think they're really great.
I think they sounded great. I didn't think it was possible for 40 saxophones to play Sir Duke.
I think it's, in some ways, a greater kick when you see a student of yours that you took from absolute zero. You had to show them how to put the horn together, and you see them out there playing and having a real good time. I'd say that, in some ways, is a greater kick than some of the fun I've had performing myself, even with some big-name people. The sax choir is a way of sort of showing broadly to the public that it is possible to start from absolute scratch, even as an adult, and be able to play something which is an aesthetic product, not just good for students, but just sounds good for anybody. And it can be done in a matter of months, and it doesn't take a tremendous amount of talent. You don't only have to listen to music your whole life. You can be part of the performing.
Well, since we first brought you that story about a year ago, the Super Sax Choir has gone into the recording studio to work on their first record, and they currently appear on a regular basis at the Tam O'Shanter in Brookline on Beacon Street. Their next performance is on April 9th. Go and catch them, and you too might catch music fever. Just about anyone can play a musical instrument. Just about. We'll be back with more of our Thank Goodness It's Friday edition of Evening Magazine in just a moment.